Ugreen has released yet another very easy to use, small and very low powered NAS unit. So now there's no excuse to be using all these cloud storage things that just suck money out of your pocket every single month. And they're not as private and secure. If you're running your own NAS, you've got your own data, you are your own master. Let's say you just want to organize your photos, organize your files and folders, share them with other people in the office or other people in your home, watch some movies and do a few things like that. All you really need is an ARM-based NAS. The fact that it only draws 10 watts of power means you're going to be paying literally pennies per month to keep this thing running. So when you compare that to the cost of cloud services, yeah, just store your own data. I know there's all kinds of Black Friday deals. I'm going to talk about those at the end of the video, but right now they are down in the description. We've got some stuff that's like $300 off, 20% off, like a lot of really good deals. So let's keep on going, but check the deals at the end of the video or just down in the description. This is the brand new Ugreen NAS Sync DH2300, and it features the Rockchip RK3576. It's an 8-core processor and it's ARM-based. In my opinion, the correct way to go for even some of the more powerful stuff in the future is to shift it over towards ARM-based because of the power savings you get, and you still get a lot of performance with this 8-core CPU. Like, you can do 4K video streaming and hop around without any problem whatsoever. It's extremely sleek enough to put in your living room. In my opinion, it's subjective, so take a look at it. What do you think? Now the top lifts off very easily and it exposes 2 bays, and there's just 2 sleds in there. You can remove those 2 sleds just by pinching and pulling them out, and then you just set your hard drive in there so that the plugs, the SATA plugs and connectors are on the bottom. Now I've got a couple of Western Digital hard drives here. I really recommend using the NAS grade hard drives like I have. So just get a couple of those and you'll be good to go. And then you just set them in there. There's a few screws you install, and then they literally just slide right back in. They're numbered 1 and 2. You can't mess this up. It's incredibly easy, and then you'll be moving away from that cloud storage. I showed this in the last video where I was talking about the DH4300, the DH NAS Sync. I showed this in the last video when I was talking about the NAS Sync DH4300 Plus, and this is just someone put this together, showing all of the different cloud storage, and you can see here for the different price ranges for how many megabytes, gigabytes, or whatever you can get. And for a lot of these, if you want 1 terabyte, it's like $69 a year, $71, $70, $80 a year, $95 a year. So you use this NAS for just a couple of years and you've already saved money. Plus, this is 10 times faster. Like, it's so much faster than using these online storage. Yeah, you may have gigabit Ethernet or gigabit internet. The online storage does not run at the same speed as your local network. There's a lot of overhead with those online storage services and cloud services. So yeah, this is not going to be anywhere near as fast. You're not going to be able to stream movies for sure. Can you stream movies from Google Drive? I don't think you can. So you've got your 2 drive bays, but you also have some internal storage. There's 32 gigabytes of internal storage, and that is where the Ugreen OS lives. As far as maximum storage, it'll store up to 60 terabytes, which is 2 30 terabyte drives. I recommend using one of those for backup, so 30 terabytes would be the maximum for me. But if you just want all that storage and you don't care about redundancy, then you can have up to 60 terabytes. Ugreen's provided us with a compatibility list. I mean, most stuff's going to work with this, but let's just go over here and say the DH2300, and then we're looking for hard drives. So hard drives, search, and then they have a list of stuff that they have tested. They've tested all these Seagates and all these Western Digitals. So yeah, you can use all of those. I mean, a Toshiba should work. A lot of the other stuff on the market should work. Oh, there's Toshiba already on here. So yeah, most drives are going to work in this, but those are the ones that they have officially tested and say, yes, these work. They're on their compatibility list. You can do that with whatever else. So that's a kind of a handy thing. All those links will be in the description. The product dimensions are 151 by 98 by 213.7. Let's take a look at the ports. So on the front, we've got USB 3.2 and just power button and some indicator LEDs. Flip it around to the back, we got a couple more USB 3.2. And then beside that, we have gigabit Ethernet. And then we also have an HDMI port. So This has the same array of ports as the 4-bay unit. So as far as connecting this and getting it up and running, it's extremely easy. Now, if you're old school like me, you can log in through the web browser or install the Ugreen software and just let it find the NAS on the network and then do everything at your computer. But if you want to be cool, you can just walk over to this with NFC on your phone. Just hold your phone up to the front of the Ugreen NAS and it will open up the Ugreen software on Google Play or on the Apple Store. I'm not sure. I don't have an iPhone or whatever, but you got to open up the software and then you can install it and just completely go through everything on your phone. Then if you ever need to log in, you can just hold your phone up to the front of the Ugreen NAS and it'll pop open the software and you're good to go. Pop open the app, I guess it is. But I'm going to do everything here on the computer. It's the same process on your phone. It's really easy, so you can do it either way. So after you get the software installed, you see I've got a few things here. You'll see your device right here. Just click on register. And then you can name your device. DH2300 is plenty for me. And you can agree to share your device data or not. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to use this just on my own network. All right, now it's time for your name and password. And also you can upload an avatar. There's Kremeth. Perfect. So here you can add your email address and just read the top here. You can do a Ugreen link over here, which allows you to connect from anywhere outside your house or your office or whatever. And then you also have the instant notification of issues, which will be sent to your email. So I like to set it up just for that. But for now, I'm going to skip because I am going to be probably using this in a different way. If you want easy remote access, go ahead and enable this. Just give it a minute. It's going to configure its operating system. Now we just wait a little bit and we'll be good to go. Okay, that's finished. Let's go ahead and click on Start. And here we are. You know what? We'll go through this just for your benefit. See all your apps. There's your control panel. App Central. I'll show you some fun stuff here. And we can set our wallpaper. Yay. All right, cool. Operating system on this is really... First thing you're going to want to do is just go ahead and create a volume for storage. And we're going to do that with the hard drives we've installed, those two Western Digitals. Go ahead and create. There's our two hard drives. Take my two drives here, and then I'm going to do RAID 1. That gives us one drive for storage and the other one just for backup. So that way, if anything goes wrong, well, you just replace the drive that went bad and you're back up and running. You know, I'm going to enable this too. It might do a little bit, not much, but yeah, let's just do that. Make sure we have the best storage possible. Now I'm going to use BTRFS because it allows us to do all kinds of things like snapshots and, you know, like rolling back in time to see what the folders used to look like. So that's the fancy thing. If you want to use ext4, that's the old school standard, but BTRFS is very mature now. So click on create. It's going to format both those drives. Okay, that was quick. Now it says the next thing we need to do is create our first folder and upload files. So now that we've created a volume, it's basically created a space where we can make folders. So we have different types of folders. You get your personal folder, you got shared folders, and you got network folders. Shared folders can be seen by your other computers and stuff. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create some shared folders here. There we go. If you want to enable your personal folder, you can as well. I'll give all the users personal folders, so each user will have their own home. This is optional. You don't need to do this, but if you want to have like each user with their own folder, go ahead and do it. All right, now let's just go up here and click on New Folder, and I'm going to be doing Shared Folders. There we go. I'm going to call the first one Media, Volume 1, and we're all good. You can enable the recycle bin if you like, and yeah, we've got read and write. That's fine. Let's create one more that's just called Work. You can call it anything you want. There's our shared folders right there. New shared folder, I'll call it Work. Put all your work stuff in there. And you can also give access to each individual user at a granular level. Cool. So that's easy. Now we've got two shares right here. All right, if you want to set up remote access, you can also do that right here. But let's go over to the App Center next. And they've done this really cool thing where they have this NAS common software suite, and it's just a bunch of stuff that pretty much everyone, you know, is going to want or need. Cloud Drive, Sync and Backup. You got your Photos app, Music app, and Theater app. If you're going to be managing this separately, you may not want to do this, but I usually just do it anyway. There we go, install all those. Now, if you want other apps down here, well, we've got all kinds of stuff, and you can search for other things. Now, this unit doesn't have Jellyfin yet, so we'll have to wait for some of the other apps to show up on this particular unit. But the Theater app is actually really good, so I'll show you that in just a second. I'll give you a quick tour of the control panel. I'm not going to get too nerdy in this video. Your file services, you are going to want to enable SMB if you're connecting on Windows. So go to your file services, enable that. You have FTP for those who do that. NFS is more for Linux users, but SMB can also be just fine for Linux these days. You got rsync, so it'll work with anything, basically any Linux system in the world, and anything else that can use rsync, FreeBSD, and all kinds of things. So you got rsync you can set up right here. We also have WebDAV, and this allows you to map network drives remotely. So you can do that. You can enable terminal access if you want to. So if you want to like log in and actually make some changes, it's Debian under the hood, you can do that. It's also cool that we have some fan settings. If you have this in a room and you want to keep it quiet, well, you can do that. I'm leaving it on default. It just does everything automatically, and I never hear this thing. It's really quiet, so I'm not too worried about that. You can also turn off the LED. If you've got this in your bedroom, maybe turn that off so it doesn't bother you. And then we have our memory compression right here. Security, we do have firewall, and I'm going to enable the firewall. You can set up rules and all that kind of stuff. You know, blacklist, whitelist, whatever. And you can install your own certificates if you need to. It comes with a, a default Ugreen certificate. But if you want your own SSL, if you're doing something like that, you can do that. And the Photos app has some really handy AI stuff that is all on your local machine. External stuff, it's not sending any data anywhere. It's just a little bit of AI that allows you to do things like this. Click on search up here, I'm gonna type food. And I didn't organize this, but it found a folder, it arranged a folder here. And it just knows that all this is food. This is tea. Does that count as food? Yes, I guess it does. Okay, I need to not be in America. This is shark cartilage right there. It's delicious actually, with some yuzu and all that stuff. All right, so yeah, it's got all this food. It even, look, it even detected that as food. All right, let's try animals. Okay, type animal, we got cat. I don't have very many pictures on here. I took this picture of a cat in China somewhere. Let's see, dog. Okay, I took a few. These are all dogs I found in China. Look at this guy right here. He's like, what's going on? He caught me taking a picture. So yeah, look at that. And horse, of course. Yeah, the AI just, it called a large pony a horse. What else can we look for? Do I have any pictures? A bridge maybe, or train? I don't know what I have in here. Oh, wow, it detected the bridge of the horse there. Check that out. It's making me want to go back to China. So yeah, this is really cool. I even detected that bridge there in Osaka. That's cool. It's really handy if you're looking for stuff. Otherwise, it just organizes all your photos. And let's say you're like, okay, my takoyaki right here, I want to share this with somebody. That's a little dark. Let's say I want to share this one. There we go. Up here on the top, you got your ... Just go down to share, and then you can do it with or without a password. Public sharing, no password's fine, and then click on share. It'll give you a shareable link right here. Since I'm not using the Ugreen Connect right now, it's just giving me a link with my IP address, which won't work unless you're using the Ugreen Connect. So you do need to turn that on or do DDNS. The first time you open up Theater, it's going to ask you to create your libraries, and you can organize these by content type. So I've got a folder for anime shows, a folder for anime movies, a folder for regular movies, a folder for regular shows, and we can just come down here and add the folders. So I'll start off with my anime shows, and those are in my shared folder, media, anime. Whoops, there's a shows folder here. I got to move those. I accidentally put them there. There we go. And then you need your movie database API key if you want to be able to pull all of the metadata for this. It's very easy to get. The instructions are right here. You're going to need an account. So just follow the instructions. It's like 2 or 3 things. It's extremely easy to get this API key. And you put it in here. You'll be good to go. It'll start pulling everything and using the movie database as a means of finding, check that out, the covers, the metadata, for instance. Check that out. It's got the metadata and everything. It's pulling it all from the movie database. This is not a 6.8 show. This is like a 7.9 show. Add more libraries by clicking on the cog in the top right. There we go. It's telling you what to do right now. All right, add our folder here. And I think you get the idea now. Just organize it however you like. Cool. Apply. Excellent. Anyway, just let this thing do its thing. Oh, there, it's starting to pull all the data, all the information. So we can just play this right here. It opens up a separate player. Now you can just log in and watch this from any device, which is great. There we go, got your subtitles. This feels a lot like Jellyfin or Plex or something. It works really well. And it's really snappy on this. I'm surprised at how snappy this is. Street Fighter 2, let's see how this loads. Yeah, this This is snappy. And I'm copying stuff over in the background, so there's an operation happening. I'm copying over a bunch of files. That's a quick overview of the Theater app. Now, since we did BTRFS, we also have File Version Explorer, and this will allow us to look at our folders here and go back in time. We haven't created any snapshots yet. So in order to do that, we'll need to come up here and create snapshots. So let's say I want to have backups of whatever, my work right here. And we can say take a snapshot right now, or we can come over here to settings and create a snapshot plan saying like, okay, every month, let's do every day. Once a day, it'll take a snapshot. So what this does is every single day you can see what's changed, and then you can go back in time and say like, okay, yesterday I needed a file, but I accidentally got rid of it or changed it. You can go back in time and see that file. Uses a little bit of space, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it. This is something you should look up because it's beyond the scope of this video, but just look up snapshots if you're curious to know more about that. All right, we also have a music program. Insert Music will let you listen to your music wherever you like. And it's very similar to, I don't know, a lot of the music players out there on the market like iTunes and stuff. Above and beyond that, we have something called cloud drives, and this allows you to sync with some of the online services. So let's say there's certain files you just need on OneDrive, Baidu, NetDisk, or whatever, Google Drive. Just go right here. It'll open up Google. I'm not going to show you that on the screen right now. And then you can sync certain files and folders with your Google Drive. And then if you want to do this stuff locally, there's sync and backup. And we can create new sync tasks right here. So right here we can sync with this computer or sync with another Ugreen NAS. And you can select certain folders and files. We can say, okay, these Oblivion screenshots. Yes, we're going to sync my Oblivion screenshots. And then I need a folder right here. So let's come over here to our share folder. This is important work. So I haven't created a folder. You want to create a folder first. So I can create a folder right here. Let's call it Oblivion. I can't believe I'm syncing Oblivion screens, but that's what we're doing right there. Oblivion screens confirm. We're doing two-way sync, which means if you change it in either place, it will mirror the changes. Or we can do one way, which is just it comes from here and goes to here. And then any changes I make will, act accordingly. So there we go. We can set up our sync, real-time sync, which is always running. And yeah, we're good to go. Syncing that up, confirm. And then while we're doing this, take a look. It only has 4 gigabytes of memory. And I say only because look at this. While we're doing stuff, I'm going to leave this over here. Let's just open up the Photos app again and click around. Linux is so efficient. Look, I'm going through all these photos super fast. What is that? 26, barely using any RAM. About Fatal Fury 2. There we go. And how are we doing with RAM? It's using actually less RAM, even though we're using an external video player. Don't you just love how efficient Linux is? It's ridiculous. Are we still, how am I doing all kinds of stuff and it's using less RAM than it was before? That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. All right. So yeah, I'd say 90% of the people, this is pretty much all they need. But for the other 10%, like I know a lot of the people who watch this channel and myself included, we like to run virtual machines and do all kinds of things and install custom apps. I mean, you can install custom apps on this if you want to. I didn't even mention that. While you're over here in the App Center, you can come up here and do manual installation and manually install packages. Just get yourself a UPK file or whatever and manually install it. Anyway, I think for most people out there, this is the perfect NAS. And it will get you away from all that expensive cloud storage, and you'll be able to do so much more with it, and you'll have basically agency over your own digital life. And that's really what this is all about. And that's why I've been working with Ugreen for quite a while now, because they have just, started making devices that are extremely easy to use, but also really powerful, like more powerful than the competition at the same price point. All right, so we got a lot of deals for Black Friday. Here it is coming up. Like I said, up to $300 off some of these units, 20% off on the DH2300. That's the one that we've been looking at today. So that makes moving away from all this big data collection cloud nonsense even easier. And then if you want more bays, well, the DH2300 Plus, which also just sips the power because of that ARM processor, very similar to this unit, except we got 4 bays, so you can do different types of RAID, different arrays. I'm making this video obviously before these deals are taking place, but I know from 11/20 to 12/1, this is going to be 20% off. And most of the NAS series, most of the Ugreen NAS series is also going to be 20% off. So if you want to move up to x86, get some virtualization, Docker containers and stuff, you can do that with the DX. You can do that with some of these bigger units. Right now, while these things are on sale, like obviously sale hasn't started yet, but when this stuff is 20% off, that's the time to grab it. Thanks very much to Ugreen for sponsoring. Just grab this stuff while it's on sale. This is the thing to do. So it's really easy to recommend the DH2300. If you need more storage, but your use cases are similar to this, well, you got the DH4300 Plus. And then if you want like all the extra nerdy stuff, well, then you can step up and get one of the units that has x86. And I made videos on those, so I'll link some of those below. So let me know what you think and let me know what you would do with something like this. I'll see you in the comments.